Men, you cannot begin to imagine the influence that you have on your
I want to
children.
suggest is that parents, specifically fathers, are to be the emotional GPS or compass for their children. But because some brothers don't have enough signal strength to connect to the tower, some of our children are having to make the journey without the aid of a
Both your
guide.
boys and your girls, they literally look to us as their guidance.
And so some of our boys are having a whole lot of anxiety because they have no one to guide them.
About 10% of children have a mental health problem at any one time before the age of 12.
As their directors, as their leaders, as their teachers. See, when a child is born into this world, they're a clean slate.
Some of our girls have to rely on the advice of strangers because they have no one to guide them. Some have to do a bunch of guessing because they have no one to guide them. Some are filled with anxiety because they don't have anyone to guide them. And some of our young people are on the verge of missing their assignment because they don't have anyone guiding them. And when we look at this story, it is a call to all of my brothers to make sure that we don't leave our kids buffering because your signal strength to the tower is not strong enough to connect when dead spots come in your journey.
They weren't born with any preconceived notions. They have tendencies based on genes that has been passed down, because we now know that genes carries information, and mostly it determines the physical attributes. Where personality is concerned, we have a lot of influence on that. And so we have to be mindful of that. We have to be mindful of the fact of how they view us, how they see us. And so we have to model for them the men and the women that they will become.
We ought to glorify is education. We ought to glorify marriage. We ought to glorify strong fathers. We ought to glorify great mothers, because whatever you glorify, you multiply. Are y'all hearing me today?
And so ultimately, a child will grow up and they'll be a doctor or a teacher or a fireman, a policeman, or a plumber, or whatever, you name it. And so they'll decide their profession. What will their character be like? What type of person, what type of man, what type of woman will they be in the society in which they live? How will they contribute? Will they have the mind to contribute? Will they have the spirit to contribute in a positive way? Will they be unrighteous? Will they be mean? Or will they be kind? Will they be loving? Will they be sharing? Will they be caring for themselves and the people around them in the society? And so we have to think about these things. We have to develop the mindset to recognize the influence and thus the power that we have to influence the lives of our children. And so we do that. We look forward and we download. So we are the programmers. If you want to, we're living in the age of technology. And so if you want to look at it as a computer software, if you will, we're literally the programmers. We are the coders. we are downloading the information to them, the knowledge, the characteristic traits that they will ultimately become. And so we have to choose that wisely. We have to be careful in what information we download or allowed to be downloaded to them. Because in being a protector of our children, we have to recognize the negative influences that exist around them in their environment. And so we have to protect them to a degree from some of those negative influences, because ultimately we won't be able to protect them from all the negative influences around them. And so we have to correct, we have to direct, we have to explain to them some tough things that happens in our society. It's an awesome responsibility. But having 4 children, which ranges in ages from 12 to 18 to be soon, it's so rewarding whenever you download the proper information, the proper coding in the early years, and then you see that manifest years down the road into just beautiful human beings who are interested in serving their communities, who are interested in building businesses and providing services to people at large on a whole. It's a beautiful thing, so rewarding. And so I encourage you men, I encourage us men to stand our post.
And I just want to take a moment to affirm all the brothers in the house that are taking care of your responsibility. Say amen for the brothers today. But let me also pause to say to any man that's on the verge of leaving your post to be still and allow you to guide the children where God has appointed them to be.
To recognize the awesomeness of our responsibility and do what's right, do what's good, do what's just, even in the sight of difficulties, of challenges.
I want to just speak to the brothers. I need you to know, brothers, that life, see, it's crazy because, like, man, culture is very hard on black men, and life gets hard. It abuses us in every way. There's a certain part of us that has to put on a certain amount of iron to go out and deal with the world, because life is just coming at you in every way, shape, and form.
Let's grow. Top flight.